Good day everyone, my name is John Ray Armalata and today we will be having a discussion on Factory I/O, specifically the scene sorting by height basic, which makes use of the driver control I/O. So without further ado, let's start. So in here we have all the tags, so we just click dock all tags and all of these tags should be present. So this is comprised of the sensors, actuators, buttons, indicator lights, and switches that are present in this scene. So since we made use of a scene from the Factory I/O, so all of this should already be in place. Okay, so for this to work, we need to have some sort of program. So what I did is I made use of the control I/O. So before that, I would like to discuss first some of the tags here. So in here we have the entry conveyor. So the entry conveyor is the one that provides the boxes on pallets from the emitter. So from the entry conveyor, the box should proceed on this part wherein it will be sorted or loaded either to the left side or right side depending on the size of the box. So what I did is for bigger boxes, I transferred it, or I want it to be transferred to the left, while smaller boxes or small boxes should be transferred or loaded to the right. So I let the emitter and removers to be forced for us to have an automatic production of boxes on pallets and removal of those same boxes as well. Okay, so in the control panel, we have the emergency stop, which will be latched and unlatched when pressed, then the push buttons for start, stop, and reset, and its corresponding indicator lights, along with the selector switch with manual and automatic state. And lastly, we have the counter. So the counter counts all the boxes that are sorted and can be reset by the push button reset. Okay, so let's proceed with the program. So I have here this program. So let's start with the entry conveyor. So for the entry conveyor to work, we need to press the start button and turn the selector switch into auto. Then that will power the start relay and start light and deactivate the stop light. Then on the lower part, we have the stop and emergency stop, which powers the stop relay. So we can see here a cross output. So the start part or the activation part resets the stop relay, and the stop part of the program resets the start relay. So the start relay along with the restart 1 and the restart 2 will power the entry conveyor. So we can see here an emergency stop. So this is present on all the other parts of our program as well. So we put it there so that we can have an instantaneous stoppage of the process. So when we press it, everything should stop in its place. Now we also have a stop relay here. So the stop relay here should stop the process after it finishes the ongoing process. So that's the difference between the emergency stop and the stop function. So we will be able to see that later on in the demonstration. So the pallet sensor and the stop will reset the entry conveyor. Now let's proceed with the loading of the box. So box loading, we have pallet sensor to set the load, then load sensor to reset the load. Again, the presence of emergency stop. And then in the sorting by height, we made use of the three sensors: the pallet sensor, the low sensor, and the high sensor. Pallet sensor and low sensor will always be activated once a box on a pallet is presented. So regardless of the size, both of those will be activated. So in here, the high sensor has a NOT function that goes on the first AND function that sets the sort box relay, and on the other side, the AND function from the high sensor goes straight to the reset. So that is an integral part of the program that lets us decide where a box should be transferred. So we can see here that the sort box relay enters a NOT function for the transferring to the left, while on the transferring to the right, the sort box relay goes directly into the AND function. So if the sort box relay is set, it means that the high sensor is not activated. It means that the box is small. So if the sort box relay is set, it means that the transferring to the right program will be the one to proceed. But if the high sensor is activated or is triggered, the sort box relay will be reset and the transferring to the left will be the one to proceed. So it means that bigger boxes will be transferred to the left. So that's the logic behind the two programs or the two identical programs for the transferring. Now, we have the at left entry and the at left exit, both going into a counter up. The same with the counter right. So let's just discuss this part since the two are identical. So it goes into a float, then into a function that checks if the input 1 is higher than the input 2. So we did this to make sure that a box is sensed at the start of the conveyor, either right or left conveyor, before the conveyor proceeds. So since this float is located at the left entry and the float B is located at the left exit, so these are the left entry sensor and the left exit sensor. Same on the other side, right entry sensor and right exit sensor. Then for the counter, we just made use of the float B and float D, both located at the exit part of the conveyors. So we made use of the function add to add the numbers of the sensed boxes on the left and the right conveyor. Now let's have a quick demonstration of our program. So let's restart this scene, and then so you can remember the selector switch should be in auto, and we should press the start button for the enter conveyor to work. So what will happen if we try to press the push button without turning the selector switch to auto? So you can see here, nothing happens. But when we turn the switch into auto and push the start button, the process continues or starts. So small boxes should go to the right, just like that, and the big boxes should go to the left. So we can observe that all the sensors are activated when the big boxes are the ones being processed. So this entails that the boxes should go to the left, while small boxes, just like this one, will only trigger up to the low sensor. So this will go to the right. So let's observe the counter if it's counting correctly. 5, so it should be 6 right now. Then that will be the 7th box. Then let's try to press stop. So as you can see, the program or the process still continues, but after it finishes the ongoing program or process, it stops. So let's try the reset function or button. So it resets the counter. So what will happen if we try to push emergency stop, then try to start the program? So as you can see, it does nothing. But if we unlatch the emergency stop and press start, it should start the program just like that. Then pressing the emergency stop instantly stops all of the process. So that's the difference between the emergency stop and the push button stop. So I think that would be all for my demonstration, and I hope you learned something today. Again, I'm Janra Armalata. Thank you for watching.